everyone. Welcome to another exciting moment with the woman. My name is Maya Peter and I remain your anchor. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Maya.
Kindly introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Maureen Okpoko, an Hollywood actor, script producer. I'm an entrepreneur, and I compare.
So, ma, how exactly did you start your acting career?
Well, I started 10 years ago when I got my first script. My ex-husband blessed it. I'll never forget that day. He was in a room. We sat at the edge of the bed together, and he blessed my first script. And that was how I started along the line. It's not been an easy journey, but I'm glad to be right where I am. But I'll need to also go further, but I'm very glad to be standing on my feet. Some people have come in, they couldn't weather whatever it was that was in the industry, the toughness of it, toughness of the terrain. But some of us who were able to weather it, we're still standing strong. I'm praying to move higher.
Okay, so how were you able to balance up your career and your marriage?
Well, I got into the industry while I was married. Well, at the tail end of 2010, when I started, the marriage had crashed. Yes, it crashed. So I had to leave marriage to stay on my own. I had just my children to take care of. I didn't have to run back home to start cooking for a man. Trying to make out time for them, sit with them, talk with them, know their challenges, know what they're going through, and being there for them. That's the most important thing. I'm in their lives, and that's what matters. I'm in their lives with so much love. And that's what really matters. If I go to work, they know I'm at work. They pray for me. They always have me in their prayers. So I have them in my heart as well. So as I move ahead in whatever I do, I have them in mind. And I work hard, knowing that I have some responsibilities back home. And I have some people looking up to me as a mother, as a sister as well, and as an auntie. So I try to balance everything on a scale. So one doesn't suffer and the other one is moving on while one is suffering. So I balance everything on a scale.
Okay, so regarding on your health and wellness, when you have tight schedule, does it really tell on you? Like, do you feel stressed sometimes? Do you feel depressed sometimes on that? How are you able to come out of that?
Everyone will feel stressed when you have a back-to-back shoot. When I mean back-to-back shoots is when after the shoot you don't have a day's rest. You move on to the next shoot. Just like that, like that. It happens. And it shows on you. You're all stressed out and you have to give your best for each production. You won't let it weigh you down. That's one thing. So we try our best in whatever we do. And we also check our health status as well. So probably every 2 months or 3 months, some people go for checkup. Those of us who go for checkup. Those who are strong and who are taking, what we call multivitamins, daily dose of multivitamins that can prop you up as well, would not even bother as long as whatever they have or whatever they feel in there is not health threatening.
So, what exactly is your definition of womanhood?
My definition of womanhood, I am a woman sitting down here. If you're a woman, especially if you're married, you have to be responsible. There's a sense of responsibility that comes with being married. And you have to be a virtuous woman in marriage. It's not an easy thing because the person you're married to, at the end of the day, it won't be the same kind of person you started off with. Some in the middle of the marriage, they turn to something else. Things begin to happen. But the thing is that you have to be a woman who recognizes that the man also is the head of the family. No matter how much you earn, even if you are the one running the home, people should not know. Because it has actually happened to me. And no outsider knew what was going on in my home. Okay, it was between me and my God. So if you're a woman, try to curb your excesses. Try to guard your tongue. watch what you say most times. It's difficult, you know. Watch what you say most times. I'm the kind of person, take myself for an example. I'm the kind of person who doesn't really talk much. I don't know how to bandy words. So in marriage, you try not to. If it comes to altercation in marriage, just keep quiet and just move away. If your husband is that kind of person who's querulous, because you got some men that are like women, you talk, they talk, they talk back. But there's some men that are just quiet, just give you that cold shoulder, and they just go away. You understand? So you have to be a responsible and virtuous woman. That's what I see womanhood is.
Okay, ma, moving on to the next question. What do you think is the cause of rape? And how do you think this issue of rape can be averted?
Rape is to violate a woman aggressively, forcefully. You take what doesn't belong to you forcefully, you violate a woman. It is wrong. Like what I read of a 3-month-old baby being raped by a full-grown man. He must be a beast. It's only a beast to someone who's demonized that can go and assault a baby. They say women corsets. You know, sometimes when it comes up in social media, men are like, women are the cause. They dress provocatively. Of course, women, they do dress provocatively. I'm not totally in support of it, you understand? But that doesn't warrant one looking at one like, oh man, I need this woman. That look in your eyes, like your libido just goes up like this, whoop. And you're like, I must have her. You know that kind of thing. I must have this woman. Then you tend to corner her somewhere and rape her. It is not the best. It is horrible. Fathers are raping daughters. Brothers are raping sisters. Cousins are raping little cousins. Uncles are raping nieces. That's what is going on now. And this is terrible. It's like a pandemic. Boys are raping boys. A sodomy. It's a whole lot. It's terrible. It's heart-wrenching. So this thing about rape is a no thing to me. You don't force a woman, you don't force anybody. And this minor, raping a minor is the worst of it all. It is, I don't know, it is so, I don't know, it's so degrading and beastly. It's not really something that one would want to go through. Because that's why most people, when they go through, they can't come out to say it. Because it's so difficult. It's so heart-wrenching. And you find it so difficult to bear. You don't even know how to open your mouth. How will you open your mouth? It's like you're going to be stigmatized. Because if you're raped and you come out and you say it, and let's say if you're a female and someone was getting married, I said, why do you want to get married to this one that was raped? What for? When the other girls that are clean, and nothing has happened to them. You see? But you know, I do advise ladies sometimes, if you dress, and you know you're just going out to go get some things, not that you're going to a party, you understand? You dress normally. Even if it's a short skirt, it doesn't have to be below the knee. It doesn't have to be above the knee. It should be a bit below the knee, or just by the knee. You know, you try to dress well so you don't attract all these men who are beasts. There are so many of them probably not around. All this pedophilia as well. They are all prowling. They are all around. So it's really terrible. But I say a no, a big no, a capital no to rape, no matter what. It's a capital no. And whoever rapes should be castrated. What do you think? Yes. I feel whoever rapes should be castrated. Because if you're being let off, even if you're being in prison and you're let off, you'll still go back to it. Some come out and say, it's the devil, it's the devil. You are the devil. There's no devil, don't keep on blaming the devil. So parents should look out for their daughters, for the female children especially. And women, look out for yourself. Look out for yourselves. Female children are vulnerable. Ladies, look out for yourselves as well. Your boyfriend can rape you. He can rape you because you go to visit him and you say no to sex. And he tears your clothes and violates you. What are you going to do? You won't run out. Everybody knows that you're dating him. But you knew what you went through. So it's a no to rape. It's a capital no to it. It's horrible.
What do you think is the cause of violence, domestic violence in a home? And how do you think this issue of violence can be prevented?
My dear, it takes two to tango. If you're not getting on well in the house, find out what the root cause of the problem is. Just try to communicate. If it's not working out and it now leads to violence, my dear, and it's constant violence where you're battered to a pulp, my dear, just walk away. It affects majority of women. I know men go through it, but just very few. You can count the number of men who go through it. But if you check, the women are worse hits in it. So if you feel you cannot stay, if you feel that even before he batters you and you see signs of it, and you feel you cannot stay any longer, please walk away. Don't even bother yourself about what anybody will say. Because if you're dead today, the dead does not speak. Nobody is going to ask you what happened. You're going to be gone and buried 6 feet. So if it leads to violence, my dear, just walk away. You don't take a life. You didn't create. You don't take your own life because you didn't create yourself. Just walk away from violence. Advise anyone. I wouldn't stay in a violent marriage. Yes, I wouldn't stay in it. I would have long gone. Even all these ones, they say, if he comes back to beg you, don't beg me. Because I would never go back. If I were the one, I would never go back.
Some women feel that if they are not battered, if they are not beaten, that means the man doesn't love them.
I've heard that before. I have heard it before that if you're not battered, then you won't believe that the man loves you. That's a wrong notion. That's a terrible thing. How were you brought up? That's another thing. Were you brought up in a family without love? As for me, I was brought up in a family with so much love. Foreign love because my mom is a foreigner. My father a Nigerian. So much love. That's why would I think, if you touch me, it will hurt me and I'll feel bad. For the first time, if you apologize, I could forgive. Second time, I don't know what will happen because I might not take it kindly. I know women talk too much, women, but there are some men that talk too much as well. There's some women that don't talk much, but men, something will happen, the man will go on and on and on. From the night it happened till the following morning, he raises the matter. What kind of man is that? If a woman talks too much, you know how a woman is. They're prone to being talkative, being querulous. You know that. You know how women are. I know how we are. So you just ignore. That's a man. Sometimes when you know a woman, she comes to her senses and she apologizes. Another thing is that some women could be so disrespectful because probably they're carrying the load of the husband, of the man, of the head of the family on her head. Let me put it like that. She's carrying so much load. She's got to pay the domestic staff. She's got to pay school fees. She's got to run the home. She's got to pay for essentials. And because of all that, it depends on the woman. She can't take it. So any little thing the man says, she snaps at him. Anything, she snaps at the man. I mean, the man can take things to an extent, At a point, the man will just snap. I want to take myself as an instance. I will have stayed in a marriage. Even if I brought out a dime, you wouldn't even know. Even if I was running the home, which I did sometimes, you wouldn't know. Because I will still come out with all smiles. I built my home from the scratch. Okay? I built my home, Maureen Okpoko built her home from the scratch. So it wasn't easy for me. but I still was managing everything with my family backing as well. Still happy. Nobody knew what was going on. So one thing about a marriage is that there should be companionship. There should be partnership. But if you feel it's not working, like I said, just leave the marriage quietly. Even if you know that if you're gonna leave, the man is gonna put up a struggle. He wouldn't want you to go. Just go when the man is not there. Leave with your children. If there's a problem, my children, you can leave, you can leave my children. Leave the children for him and go. You'll still be seeing your children. That's what matters because you have to be in their lives. You have to be in the children's lives. Like I'm without a husband, but I'm in my children's lives with so much love. Even if they want to do something bad, I still admonish them, but with love. So that's just it. Men and women living together as a couple, please just find a way around your problems. If it's not working out, one person should leave. There should be no violence. It could lead to death.
What is the most difficult situation you've found yourself in, and how were you able to come out of that situation?
My dear, well, to start with, I have a strong family background. My family will always rally around me if there's anything. But for me, but my ex-husband asked me to leave the house. It was as if a bomb just fell and exploded. I didn't know where to start from. I sat for a bit in the room because I had my children. The last was 6, the other one 8, and the first 10. I sat for a while. I was asking myself what I was going to do. How am I going to come out from being married, having a husband, from not having a husband after 11 years of marriage? Then these children. It was a very tough decision. A very tough decision that I had to take. But I had to leave that house. Because for once in my marriage, I feared for my life. I swear, I feared. I had this gripping fear, which has never happened to me before. I had to call my people to tell them situation of things. Then a lawyer now called me, a family friend now said to me that you've been asked to move, you better move. So even if there's a possibility of reconciliation, then you can do it from the outside. Because you don't know how that person will react, seeing you in the house, knowing that he had left the house, he had traveled and asked you to leave, which meant you should not be seen in the house once he returns. I had to call a friend, very close friend of mine, who sent me some shuttle buses. Honestly, I didn't know how I packed. But I packed and I packed and I packed and I packed. My little children were just staring at me. My first kid, a boy, was in secondary school then. Was in his first year, JS1. I didn't know what to say. I was full of tears. It was that bad. You don't go into a marriage, or let me say, I didn't go into a marriage expecting that my marriage would break up. My parents are still together. We're still together then. My dad is late. My mom is still alive. Still together then. With so much love between them while he was still alive. And there's still so much love amongst us as siblings. So the whole thing broke up. That was it. But you know what would happen when it breaks up? If no one else hears from you and you hearing from the other person saying uncomplimentary things about you and unprintable things about you, there's nothing you can say about it. My kind of person, I would not bother. Because if you know yourself, you know yourself. I knew quite well that you had done nothing wrong. At least if you send a woman out of a house, I believe you should go to the parents' house and report. But for the fact that you never came to the house to tell the girl's parents, it was just my dad and my brother. Because I had half our family here in Nigeria, half abroad. So it was just my father. You never came. So we believe that the woman did absolutely nothing. That's why I can hold my head high and still put up a smile because my conscience is clear. That's just it. There's really no other situation that's could be worse than what I've just narrated to you.
How did you pull yourself together and forge ahead?
It's past now. I've gone past hurting, but it's something you can't forget. You can't even forget it. Not even to say forget in a hurry. You can never ever forget it. Well, my kids are now big. Thank God for that. It took a whole lot because they moved to Abuja, so it was Abuja, Lagos, Abuja, Lagos. It was terrible. Each time I went with 2 Ghana must go bag of things for them. If I had to fly, I'll fly them, buy things, make my purchases in Abuja there. It was rough. But thank God for the support of my family. I don't know what would have happened to me today. Probably I would have become a lunatic or something. I don't know. And I have got to thank also whoever comes to equity comes with a clean hand. So that's it for me. I'm here standing strong and talking. It's emotional though, but I'm here, still standing strong. And I'm happy. This is my first kid now. The boy is going to be 20. Yes, and he's studying engineering. My second kid is going to be 18 next month, studying law. Then the little one is 16. She's in the last year in secondary school. So has God not been faithful? I keep on saying to him every day that I can't thank him enough.
Wow, people, you've heard it all. She has been able to share her story, and I hope someone out there has been able to catch one or two things out of what she has shared with us, and that will give you an insight to coming out of a situation that you find yourself in. Maybe a difficult situation. It could be in marriage, it could be in any maybe work situation or whatever difficult situation you find yourself in. I hope her story has inspired someone, and I hope you have been able to catch one or two from these moments with the woman. Thank you all for staying tuned. Thank you all for watching. Before you leave, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. Thank you so much for staying tuned, and God bless.